y'all? It's your girl, The Watchman. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm coming on here today, though, to talk about a dream that I had. And before I tell y'all the dream, I do understand a little bit about dream interpretation, thanks to, I'm not even going to lie, I'm going to give it to who it belongs to. Thanks to Pastor Kevin L.A. Ewing, who gives great insight on dreams and symbols. And I've also been listening to another another dream interpreter. Her name is, I think her name is Shaniqua Beckford. She also does dream interpretations, and I've listened to a few of her videos as well to just give me some confirmation and insight on dream interpretation. So I'm not completely naive when it comes to dreams. I'm not. But I just wanted to run this dream by my viewers, and hopefully the people that are supposed to see it, the right people, will see it and give me some insight on it, because my dreams are not fitting the mold right now, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm gonna tell y'all the dream, and then we'll see what happens. So this morning I had a dream that I was picking up. So I picked up some money, and they were it was bills. It wasn't dollar bills. It was like a lot of money, but they were huge. They were like really big. And so normally when you dream about the money, you usually, the dream usually will end as you are obtaining it. You see what I'm saying? But it didn't end. The dream kept going. So I picked up the money. I put the money in my pocket. Now, because the money was big, I folded it. Oh, that's not my turn. Oh wait, y'all, I gotta turn around. So I picked up the money and I folded it. Even though the money was big, it was big money. Big money. I picked it up and I folded it, and I folded it small enough to fit in my back pocket. So I picked the money up, I folded it was a lot of money. I folded it up and I put it in my back pocket. So then the dream kept going, and I ended up in this like almost like a casino. But it wasn't like big casino. It was like a smaller gambling place. And there was I had won, and I'm gonna tell y'all how much I won. I won I hit a jackpot. It was $14,200. That's what I think it was, 14,000. It's either 14,000 or $14,200. So people was just kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Even the owner was in there, and he was even like, wow. So I won $14,200. And when I went to go cash, to get my money, it was just like in the casino where the people are, behind the counter, but there was like a plexiglass there, I guess, of course, for safety or whatever. And then, you slide your money under the little glass. So I went up to the counter, to the cashier, to get my money. And the cashier started kind of looking around or whatever, and they said that they didn't have all of it, but I could take out. I even asked them. I said, can I get all of it? And they was like, yeah, if we have it all, we can give you all of it. And so I was like, I said, I'm gonna take all of it. I said, but since y'all don't have any, they was like, if you come back in a little while, we'll have all of it. So I was like, cool. So I was like, I'm not gonna take none of the money. I was like, I'm gonna just come back and get it all at one time. So the dream, I ended up somewhere else in the dream. And Now I am in the car. I'm giving somebody a ride somewhere. I'm giving somebody a ride somewhere. And it was a guy, and I want to say that he was homeless, but I don't think he was. I don't know. He just had a lot of stuff. And so I'm driving, he's in the passenger seat, and I'm giving him a ride somewhere. And when I stopped to drop him off, he was like, I'm gonna give you, because he had already said, I'm gonna give you some money, for giving me a ride. And I told him, no, you don't have to give me any money. So he was like, no, I'm gonna give you some money. So I was like, all right. So we driving. I really wasn't, interacting with him too much. I'm just driving. And then when I got to his stop, he just kind of got real flustered. Like, I don't have any money. He was like, I can't find it. He was just, and I looked at him and I was like, you good? And I actually gave him money. I gave him money. I gave him money. So the dream ended. I think the dream ended. It probably was some more stuff going on in the dream, but I can't remember all of it. But that's what I remember. So now let's talk about the symbolism of this of the dream. But like I said, this dream is not fitting the mold because I was the one giving money. I wasn't, even though I won some money, but I didn't take the money. But then I was driving this homeless guy and I gave him money. So anytime you're dreaming and you're dreaming about money and you're dreaming about taking money, that is a spirit of poverty. That is a spirit of setback. And it could be, a spirit of delay. But at the end of the day, it's not good to take anything in your dreams. It's not good to sign anything. And it's not good to take anything, especially money, in your dreams, because that means that you're coming into agreement with the spirit of poverty. Because these spirits are very crafty in your dreams. They know how to get you to come into agreement in your dreams. And yes, even the most informed person can be tricked in their dreams, because it's your spirit man that is doing all of this. It's not a physical person, because you're asleep. So I know that picking up money is the spirit of poverty. I get that. So I did pick up the money at the beginning of the dream, but the money was so big. It was like big old giant dollar bills. I mean, not dollars, but it was like 50s and 100s and 20s. And the fact that I folded them up so small and put them in my back pocket was interesting, because I'm like, how did I fit that humongous money in my pocket? But I did. And there was other people around, other spirits in the form of people were around me at the same time. So yes, I definitely cast down the spirit of poverty in my dreams, if that's what that was. But then let's move forward to the casino, or what, the gambling place. I'm just calling it a gambling place because it wasn't a casino. But let's move to this gambling place. So I won this money, right? I won this jackpot, and I went to go get my money. And yes, I know that a lot of times, right when you're getting ready to receive something, like Pastor Ewan said, sometimes you'll have a dream where you might be going to the ATM and everybody's getting money out of the ATM, and then as soon as it's time for you to get the money, something happens, the machine is broke, or you just wake up. I did not wake up. The dream kept going. On top of that, I didn't get the money. I said I'm coming back for the money. So of course, again, I cast down the spirit of poverty. I cast down the spirit of delay. I cast down the spirit of lack. I cast down the spirit of setback. You see what I'm saying? I disassociate myself with anything that is not of God in my dreams. You see? So let's move forward, because this one is the one that I was kind of confused about, because I'm like, what does it mean if you're the giver? So, and then on top of that, I'm giving it to a spirit. I don't know if the spirit was demonic or not, but they was acting crazy in my car when it was come time to give me some money. But then I end up giving them money. So I'm driving. Of course, I'm the one in the driver's seat. So guess what? I'm the one that's controlling the location. I'm controlling the wherever we are going. I'm driving a homeless person. Now, everybody know what the Bible says about the homeless. Jesus said, when you give to the poor, you will not lack for nothing. You will not want for nothing when you give to the poor. So in my dreams, I'm giving to the poor. First of all, I'm giving them a ride. Second of all, I'm giving them money. So my question is, how does me following or activating this law in the spirit realm, how does that work in the physical? Because if it was still a trick, you see what I'm saying? If it was a trick and whatever I was doing was still coming into agreement with something negative in my life, I don't come into agreement with that. However, because the Bible says that if you give to the poor, you will never lack, and I'm giving to the poor in the spirit realm, I'm thinking like, okay, well, we have 3 different scenarios that happen in one dream. And so does the latter of the dream, which is me giving to this homeless guy and me giving him a ride, does that cancel out everything else that was happening, that had happened? Me picking up the money, me winning the $14,200. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how this works. And so I'm just curious if somebody could give me a bit of insight on this dream. And you know what? I might even email this video personally to the people that I trust to interpret dreams. I might even email this to them just so that they can give me a bit of insight, because I have dreams that don't fit the mold a lot. You see what I'm saying? And I have no clue what it means, because it doesn't fit the bill. Like, I get it when you're picking up money, that's the spirit of poverty. But what happens when you're the giver? You see? I remember I had a dream. I had a dream that I was giving somebody water. Like, I was the giver. Normally, you're not supposed to take anything in your dreams. You're not supposed to eat anything in your dreams, right? Because it can cause sickness. But what if you're the giver? I was giving somebody a clean, beautiful, clear glass of water, and I told them, there's nothing wrong with this water. I said, there's nothing in it that's going to harm you. I said, this is really good water. It's healthy water. And they took the water, you see? So that's what I mean. Like, my dreams are not fitting the bill. They're actually the, I can almost say that they're like the opposite of what you would expect in the dream state, you see? Y'all remember when I did that dream? I told y'all I tricked that demon? Same thing, I tricked that demon. And so, I'm just curious, you know, if somebody can give me a little insight. And if they can't, it's okay, because God will reveal all things in His own time. But because I listen to certain people that are of God and that do know how to interpret dreams based on Bible, I would really appreciate a little bit of insight. And so, and guess what? You don't have to mention me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that you don't want to give somebody like me credit. I get it. Like, nobody's going to say the Watchman did a video about her dream. You don't have to do that, because that might be too much. You might be thinking that you're doing something for me, to give me some exposure, and that's what I'm not looking for exposure. I'm looking for I'm looking for explanation. I'm looking for a little bit of clarity and possibly some confirmation on what this dream means. And so it's not important that you mention my name. It's not. But if maybe when you do your next video on dream interpretations, you can just maybe pop a few of my questions in there and just mix it in with everything else you got going on. And I promise I'm gonna see it. Because God, he knows what he's doing. He'll pop that sucker right up on my YouTube, and it'll be exactly what I need to hear at exactly the time that I need to hear it. So no worries if I don't get anything, because like I said, God will reveal everything in his own time. He will give me the interpretation eventually. But I would like to hear it, from somebody else. So thank you guys so much for listening to my dream. I really do appreciate y'all. I do these dreams not just to put out there what I got going on, but I also do these videos about my dreams to create a record, to create a timeline. It's almost like writing them down. You know what I'm saying? Because I can return to these videos at any time and look at the date and be like, okay, I dreamed it on this date. Especially if something happens in the physical for me, I can always refer back to these videos and say, okay. Because I do go back and watch my own videos sometimes, and I appreciate the fact that I do these dreams, because sometimes they bring me back to a place where I've gotten off path. Sometimes they'll put me back on the right track. So that's why I do these videos, you know what I'm saying? But I really do appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I want y'all all to be blessed, okay? And please say a prayer for somebody. It doesn't have to be you don't have to actually speak it. You can say the prayer in your mind, but pray for somebody. Pray for yourself. Pray for your children. Pray for your loved ones. Pray for a stranger. And if you do have an opportunity to give to the poor, give to the poor. It doesn't have to be money. It can be clothes. It can be shoes. It can be a word. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, give to the poor. Because when you give to the poor, you give it to Jesus. And Jesus said that when you give to the poor, you will never lack. You'll never want for nothing. So if there's something that you're lacking, or if it's something that you want, and you truly believe in the Son of God, then give to the poor. And then you got to have your faith and your belief in the fact that what you're doing is going to reap benefit for you. And that's how it works. So I love y'all.